Now, delighted to join by Limerick Ladies Vice Captain Cathy Mee ahead of the 2023 All Ireland Ladies Junior Final against Down this Sunday in Crow Park. Cathy, what's it like a couple of days out from the final?
Yeah, there's a great buzz around. We had our last training last night. So now it's just really prepping, getting ourselves ready to head up in the next couple of days and finish work and everything yesterday. So it's nice now to just be able to kind of, relax for a day or two and get the bodies and the minds right. And yeah, we'll be heading up to Dublin then tomorrow. So looking forward to that.
You've had 3 weeks since the Fermanagh game, probably allowed you a bit of time to celebrate getting over that semi final and then knuckle down in training then again.
Yeah, I think for me anyway, that was the perfect amount of time, and I thought because especially when we played the day before the hurlers played on the Sunday, at least we could go out after our own game, celebrate, then go to the All Ireland hurling final, and whoever wanted to go out after that as well. So yeah, then we knuckled back into training about the last 2.5 weeks. So I thought it was ideal time, and really the two might have been a little bit quick coming around, preparation wise. So yeah, no, it's been ideal, and this week, just getting everything set and winding down a bit.
You're obviously playing a Down team that you're familiar with. I suppose what did you learn from that meeting in Newcastle? I suppose a month ago at this stage.
Yeah, like there's loads to be learned from it. You wouldn't know if they played their best that day. We obviously didn't. It was a tight game going in at half time, and we didn't show up really for the second half. So obviously we'd be thinking to ourselves, we have more in the tank to give, but they could as well. So I think it'll be a tight game, and obviously when we've played each other, we know each other a little bit, but all the games are streamed and things these days as well, so you have more access to each other, these days as well. So there's a lot to be kind of looked at tactically from that. But like, yeah, you focus on them for a while, but then mainly you have to focus on yourselves after that in regards to getting prepared.
Yeah, talking about yourselves, how important was it to get over the line against Fermanagh? Obviously, you'd beaten you twice in the last 3 years, but you'd lost a lot of semi-finals and even the final of the league last year just to get over the line.
Yeah, yeah, really important. And yeah, obviously there had been some that there'd been a few semis and the league as well last year. But I think this year as well, like we had so many new people come into the panel that we weren't going to be overthinking that, because those girls weren't even there for those losses. So it didn't mean anything to them. So they were coming in with a clean slate. But obviously there was still a few of us that were still around from them, and I think the main thing is just literally wanting to get to a final. This is a separate year in itself. So like we were only talking about it last night in training, even just the determination that day, even going in at halftime. I know we were a few points down, but we felt like we'd been playing okay. We just kind of hadn't been getting the scores on the board. So like everyone kind of said, we thought we kind of knew at halftime. We just weren't going to let it go. We kind of had that attitude that day, that determination. It was either win or bust. We had to get over the line. And yeah, the same is going to be required this weekend.
Yeah, there was great scenes after the win against Fermanagh. Is
Mhm.
there anything different with the squad this year, or is it just that you are consistently building over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Like we have been building this year. Some of the girls that came in last year, are still there this year, and then there's still a few new again this year. So we have kind of a balance of young and old. Me being in the old bracket, of course, but yeah, I think just like there's a lot of girls come in this year that have like really good attitudes, very competitive attitudes. They've won a lot in their own careers, whether that be club and camogie and things like that. So I think that's brought a great competitiveness to the group. You can't rest in your laurels. You're not guaranteed a place and things like that. But yeah, I think that feeling after the halftime whistling for Mana, it's something I haven't experienced in a good few years. And I was a bit surprised actually how much I'd kind of forgotten it. And how much it was really good. I think we were out in the pitch for nearly an hour afterwards or something like that. So it was great to get that experience, especially for younger girls coming in. Might only be their first few years, for them to have days like that. And yeah, the feeling will be all the better even on Sunday if we win. So hopefully.
Yeah, you're one of a couple of survivors from 2018. Obviously,
Mm.
captain deciding the day. Roisin says she doesn't really remember the final. What do you remember from that day against Loud?
Yeah, I'd be similar enough now. It's like a blur thinking back in it. Yeah, do you know, I remember it took a while the same day to get scoring, and then when we did score, there was kind of no stopping us. And what I would take from that day is, you know, we were complete underdogs going into that game as well. We had lost to Louth twice that year. You know, and obviously we would be seen as underdogs going into this game as well. So I think Limerick perform well as underdogs a lot of the time. So, you know, we don't mind going in as that. And it's just, yeah, it's nice to have the few of us around that I suppose have that experience from today. I think there's only 5 of us left now. But there's other girls that have played in Croke Park as well in different teams and different competitions. But obviously it's going to be a new experience for some. So you know, look, I'm just hope the occasion, you know, that they can take it in, that we can all take it in rather than it getting overwhelming. But there's obviously going to be nerves on the day, but sure, you need that as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned there you had lost the team that you beat in the final. Limerick obviously won the All Ireland hurling final the same year, so good
Mm.
omens for you going into Sunday.
Hopefully, yeah, that was a great year. You know, there was such a good buzz around. The hurlers had won, and then we won, and obviously they have been on a huge upward trajectory since then. We've been a little bit up and down. So, you know, if we could get the win this year, I'd love, you know, the same for the ladies to just keep progressing. You know, you'd rather be, I suppose, staying up when you get up and trying to make that progress, and you know, hopefully the team can stay together no matter what happens this Sunday. And hopefully, because I think the last couple of years, you know, there has been a solid base. There's been a lot of people involved with us. You know, the county board have really gotten involved with us the last couple of years as well. So hopefully, you know, that Limerick ladies are on an upward trajectory.